Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. I hope everybody had a great week, and I hope you are having an even better weekend. I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. I've missed you guys these past couple of weeks that I've been away, and I am so happy to be back today. So much so I could hardly wait to do today's show, and I hope you miss me too. But I don't want to hold you for too long, so we're going to get straight to today's show. And the title of today's show is My Familiar, or Familiar, however you say it, Familiar. Okay, all right, there we go. I think the third time was a charm. And also the topic is writing what you know. The proverb, familiarity breeds contempt, it might have been meant as words of wisdom. Sometimes, when you know too much about something or someone, positive or negative, it could lead to unresolvable issues and a loss of respect. At least that's what some people think that proverb means. So, you can judge for yourself, or you can just go to the old standby. But anyway, that may be true in some cases. However, today I want to share some benefits of having extensive knowledge of writing what you know. All right, there are some benefits, okay? And I'm not going to cover any cons, just all the pros, all right? We're going to keep it positive today. Mark Twain was quoted as having said, write what you know. And he wasn't wrong about that, which is why I agree, because, it makes sense. Writing is so much easier, when you know exactly how to navigate it. It's like, being on the road, taking a trip somewhere, and having a built-in road map with GPS. And that's one of the benefits of writing from what you know, because it is basically a streamless process, or it streamlines the process, okay? And I want to give you a few key points that suggest that writing what you know is probably better than just shooting from the hip. Okay, all right. So it opens the door to more possibilities. That's good, right? Because we all want that open door policy where that door leads to another open door and another open door and another open door. All right. And point number 2 is it shows experience. So if you are able to write about what you know based on experience, then you're already ahead of the game. Okay. And people like that because it sets the tone of the story. It sets off all of those feels and all those emotions, and that's what you want to do. You want to captivate your audience when you are speaking to them through the characters. And number 3 is it shows a level of expertise. Okay, so not only does it show experience, but it also shows that you know what you're doing. And as a writer, you always want to convey that. It's not fake it till you make it. You want to show that level of expertise. You want to show the readers that you know what you're talking about. You want to show the readers that you've done your homework, that you've researched. If you're talking about a city that is outside of where you live, or somewhere where you've experienced, or somewhere where you've never been, but you've done your research to the point to where the reader doesn't know that. for all they know, because you've hit every key point, you've hit every detail, they don't know if you visited that city, if that's your home city, your home state, whatever. But it's that level of expertise that you want to aim for. And then number 4 is it makes your story more believable. Now, we as fiction writers, I am a fiction writer. So, most of the things I write about just aren't true. But I mean, that's what fiction writers do. We create stories, and we try to make them as believable as possible. Okay, so that's one of the joys of being a writer. You get to, just make stuff up, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. But for the most part, it's good when you're using it as as direction for writing or telling a story. Okay, so besides Mark Twain, some of the greatest prolific writers worldwide will suggest that the best way to tell a story is to write about what you know. There are a lot of new writers out there, and they don't know where to start, and they want advice, from seasoned writers. And as a seasoned writer, I would tell them, write what you know. Some people have said, some writers have said, well, writing is easy. That's true, and then it's not true. Okay. So if you've never written a story before, and you don't know what to write about or how to start it, then that could be very troublesome. So, and it can be complicated, and therefore it's not easy. But, once you get that first story down and you tweak it and you get it exactly how you want it, then you've got something to work with. That's your springboard. Okay. That is something for you to, to use as a starting point to lead you to the next story and the next story and the next story, and there, and so on. So, so writing can be easy, and then it can be hard. Even if you are a seasoned writer, sometimes we run into brick walls, or sometimes we paint ourselves in a corner. But if you lead with writing what you know, chances are you'll be able to navigate it just a little bit better. Okay. But how do you do that across every genre, writing what you know? Okay. Well, okay. So maybe you write fantasy or sci-fi, but of course you've never existed in either realm, and so you lack that personal knowledge about life in these universes. Well, that is when the imagination takes over and you start to create something from nothing. Okay. Also, you are relying on personal experience interjected into and throughout the story. That's one of the benefits of writing what you know. That's another added benefit of writing what you know. Okay. And as I say, as fictional writers, that's just what we do. We write about what we know. And even if we don't have every detail or know every single, thing about the topic, that's why we research. That's why we do our research, to make sure that we are conveying to the reader that, we got our crap together. So we know what we're doing. We want to project that image, okay? Even if sometimes that's not true, but that's the image we want to project, all right? But, we do this as writers. Each time we sit down at the keyboard, we make it up as we go. And and some are truth based, and some is based on actual life events, and that always creates compelling stories. And that's what you want to do when you write what you know. You invent those compelling stories that people want to read, and they will keep coming back again and again and again, because they know that they're going to get more than what they bargained for when they get stories based on this ideology. All right. So writing what you know allows you to pull from those personal experiences and that stored emotion that give your story life. Wow, we've all experienced heartbreak and pain and rage and sorrow, and if you had to tell a story based on these emotions, I'm positive it will be like opening a floodgate of emotions. And it's an excellent example of writing what you know. You know, writing what you know doesn't only apply to storytelling from a character-driven perspective, as there are other means of sharing a narrative, okay? You know, I've read poems and I listened to songs that moved me almost to tears. You know, I felt each word and the passion and the energy derived from the artist who gave a detailed accounting powered by writing what they know. You know, I just want to share this experience with you. I listen to classical music, and I used to listen to it at night because it helped me to relax and it helped me to sleep. And I was listening to this classical station. I have an old clock radio. I'm not going to tell you how old it is, but it's very old. And it's so old that the only thing that works on it now is just the clock. It keeps up with the time, but I can't use it to set an alarm or anything like that. So of course I use my phone for that. And I guess, if I wanted to continue listening to classical music, I could just listen on Pandora or something like that. But anyway, I use that old clock radio to listen to that classical station. And again, I listen to it at night. And this piece was playing, and actually I was sound asleep, but it woke me from my sleep. And that piece was so moving. It was so haunting. And I wish that I could have listened or remembered who the composer was. But I didn't get that part of it. I think I maybe fell back off to sleep or something, but I can't tell you what happened to make me forget, but I can only tell you what I remember about that piece of music, classical music. It was so moving and so touching, and again, so haunting, that it touched something in my spirit. I mean, it made me want to cry, and not so much to the point that it was sad. It was just so emotional. Whoever composed that piece, they composed it with that emotion, and it was so much emotion that you could feel it. You could feel it, and you could hear it in the strings. You could hear it in the piano. You could just hear it, and it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. And again, I can't remember who the composer was, but if I heard that piece again, I would know it right away because it left such an impression on me that I've never forgotten about it. And that was years ago, many, many years ago, but I still remember how that made me feel. But, again, that is why writing what you know is so important. And it's it's a starting point of storytelling. It just is. And it's also an opportunity to share that expertise with others who may find comfort in your truth and inspiration to begin their writing journey. All right, folks, that's all I have for you today. Again, I'm glad to be back. I've missed being away from the show. I have interviews coming up next month. I'm excited about that, and so much more. 2022 has been one of those years to where there has just been so much happening, personally and worldwide, with the losses and the wins and just so many things. But it's also been a year of opportunity, and this show has given me an opportunity to share what I know with the listeners and fellow writers out there and new writers that are coming onto the scene. And I feel so blessed to be able to do this, and of course I want to share that blessing with everyone or anyone who wants to listen to the advice that I give or share it with others. So that is the purpose of this show. And prayerfully, God will continue to bless me to continue doing what I love. All right. So before I let you go today, I want to make sure that I give you these URLs. Of course, the first one is to Spreaker. If you don't have the app, you can download it, but you don't have to download it. You can still go to the website, Spreaker, or just key in my name and book chat in my name, and it will bring up all the places where you can listen to the show, and also my social media. You can follow me across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok if you want to. And did I say Twitter? If I didn't say Twitter, okay, I'm saying it again, Twitter, because I like saying that word. All right. You can also check out my website. That's at authorvivianemore.com or authorehshepherd.com, and my blog site, which I update every single week. And that is at https let me start over. https:// authorvivianemore.blogspot site. Sorry. No, I was right the first time. Blogspot.com. See, I'm out of practice. Excuse me, I've been away for those couple of weeks, and so I've got out of practice of giving out these URLs, but I got it right that time. Okay. So anyway, again, you can listen to the show on Spreaker. Of course, it's broadcast every single Saturday at 6 p.m. Across Spreaker. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, CastBox. These are Podcast Addict, Podchaser, YouTube, SoundCloud, JAWS7, iTunes, Audible.com, Verbal Luminary, and Amazon. And anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find my show. All right, so I hope you check it out. And not just listen, but like it and share if you will. And leave a review if you would like to do that. I would appreciate it so very much if you would do that. Tomorrow is Worship Day. I most certainly miss saying that. And I hope you're planning on going somewhere to worship. For those who still, doing it over the phone, doing it over the computer, as long as you're doing it, that's the important thing. Getting that word, because we need that. All of us. We all need that. And you can invite others to listen in. You can invite others to come out to your church services and just be safe, because COVID is getting better, but it's not all gone yet. So we want to remember that and to still, be safe. If you haven't been immunized, maybe you want to do that. I'm not promoting anything. I'm just saying, because I've gotten my shots. So, so far it has kept me from getting the virus. And not to say that you still won't get it, but it won't make you as sick as if you haven't been immunized against it. So, and it's something you need to prepare yourself for anyway, because I think it's going to be like the flu shot, where you will have to get that booster every single year. So, might as well prepare yourself for that and just get ready for it. Also, I always say, tomorrow is not promised. So it is so important for each and every one of us to tell those who we care about the most how much we care about them, how much we love them. So on that note, I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.